The CFL Gambling Podcast Week 7 preview, picks, and DFS episode. The Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Get up to $1,000 deposit match when you sign up at UnderdogFantasy.com. Use our promo code TCESGPN, and remember, as always, folks, to let it ride.
What's up, everybody? You're watching SGPN. Fuck the Cowboys. Let's go, baby.
Welcome to the CFL Gambling Podcast Week 7 preview, picks, DFS, and the home of the huge tits parlay. What's up, folks? Hop on over youtube.com, type in CFL Gambling Podcast, and boom, you got our stupid faces. It's fantastic. I am live from Las Vegas, Nevada, the perfect place to put $1,000 on a CFL game tomorrow night. Can't wait. First we're going to have to recap week 6, but before we do that, you're probably wondering, who the hell are you listening to? And that's fair. My name is Colby Swiggin, Database Dan, AKA Pick Dundee. That's not a pick. This is a pick.
He was raised in the land down under, where a man thinks on his feet, speaks with his fists, and lives by his wits.
When Dundee happened, he was a superstar.
And you're nothing but a chameleon, lemon-headed, coward, terrorist pussy. And I'm after you, buddy. You're going to pay for it. Good night.
Sir. Oh, yeah. Well, you know, pretty good week last week, if I may say so myself. I could taste the maple syrup. All right. I am joined by my co-host. He is also the host of the UFL Gambling Podcast and the Old Fashioned Football Podcast, which you should be subscribed to. Give it up for Justin Mark, aka No Turd J Mark. What's up, man?
Hey, how's it going? Another great day to talk CFL. I feel like it's a little bit late here. Been running around with the niece and nephew, but you know what? Getting all pumped up with the Canadian whiskey
nice.
To bring some life back into me.
I tried to buy a whiskey downstairs at the little shop, but they told me to go to the bar, and the bar was kind of busy, so I just settled for the. Of course, the shop doesn't sell the booze. Like, they don't sell liquor because everyone would just go there to get their liquor instead of the bartender. So it's all confusing. But
all right, most interesting man, Dos Equis.
Yes, I think I was the most interesting man last week when I called for the Calgary Stampeders to detonate, to destroy, to put the kibosh on this foo-foo Saskatchewan Roughriders nonsense. And we inch closer and closer to cashing this over 6.5 wins. And don't forget my 35-1 Grey Cup. I don't want to get ahead of myself, but God damn it, I'm feeling good. What did you make of this game as the Stamps just put it on? They were up like 17-3, I think, at halftime. Stamps, buddy, they're kicking ass.
Yeah, I mean, I was completely wrong on this game. So first, I don't want to make excuses, but I should have remembered that Saskatchewan started 4-0 last year, and then they went 0-7-1. I should have just been ready for the same pattern, but actually this more so than this Saskatchewan Roughriders not looking good. This is about Calgary looking very good. I did not think, I fell into that mindset of they had a big upset last week against Winnipeg. They're not going to have 2 in a row. Pretty soon we got to stop calling these upsets, right? This is the best team in the CFL right now.
They were my number 1 power rank team, and don't forget about my
deservedly so.
And Vernon Adams threw for 428, buddy. But how about my DFS play of Damian Alfred? What was his price again?
Like 2,800, I think.
I mean, I don't know any other CFL podcast giving out that. He had 6 catches, 156 yards, and 2 touchdowns.
I think I messaged you right away because I think he had their first touchdown. I said, great call. Great. I could already see that it was going to be a good game for him.
I mean,
he's 28 or 2,900. He was under 3,000. I remember that. Unbelievable.
We're a free show, right? We don't.
I know.
I know, like I say, folks call 1-800-PICK-DUNDEE, but I'm just last time I checked, we weren't taking credit card numbers on air there. Yeah, what a great play, and yeah, I'm curious where you have them power ranked. Now, 6 weeks into this or 7 weeks into this, I'm sorry.
They got to be one, right? I mean, after beating Winnipeg and Saskatchewan, who are you going to put above them?
Well, maybe this team, because the Hamilton Ticats. Now, unfortunately for this game, it was my parents' 50th anniversary, so I watched 0 of this game.
They weren't streaming it during.
I tried to put it on. Right, my dad's like, "What the hell's going on with that 20-yard end zone bullshit?" Right? No, I just couldn't. We weren't at a place to put the game on, but I didn't catch any of it. But I mean, Hamilton remains. I have a future on them too. So I feel like I know you took it too. We went back to that well, dropping the hammer, and Rod Villagomez's Redblacks just can't find a way to win a game, even though they, from what I understand, I think they were in position to win this for a while, right?
They were winning this game for most of it.
Yeah. So Hamilton wins this game. You could talk about it better, I think, than me, because I didn't get a chance to catch it. So what happened here?
Yeah, so I mean, Ottawa was winning this game up until the fourth quarter. They just couldn't finish. That's what it came down to. Hamilton drove back, ended up winning. They scored 10 points in the fourth quarter. Before that, I mean, they'd only had 4 points in the second quarter, 9 in the third. They did not look efficient from what we have been seeing from Hamilton. I mean, we talked about Bo Levi. Is he going to throw 5 touchdowns again? No, probably not, but we thought he'd be good. He just didn't. He wasn't running all the same cylinders. Credit to Ottawa. They looked good. I'm curious.
But they're 1-5.
Yeah, right. I'm curious in your take on, if you guys haven't been paying attention to the CFL on social media, Luke Wilson, former Seahawk tight end, former NFL tight end, grew up in Canada, loves the CFL, but he talks a lot on social media. He's on TSN on Fridays, calling out Hamilton's crowd, and kind of deservedly so. A lot of the crowd making excuses because it was 102 Fahrenheit real feel, so they didn't want to get out there. What? I mean, he's right in this. And there's a lot of takes he has in the CFL that I don't agree with, but in this one, you're blaming the weather and too hot for going to the game. What?
Well, I mean,
support your team.
And they moved the Calgary game, right, because of extreme heat.
Well, that was for smoke, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there were fires in the air, and there was a air quality issue, which Toronto is kind of facing with practicing right now. Is this a yearly thing? It seems like it's becoming it. Yeah.
It's just like, guys, it's July. Light those forests on fire, and let's do this again. No, that's fair. 102 degrees. I mean, come on, it's football, guys. Now, I will say this: I do believe, and I would have to double check it because you're hot potatoing this in a way right now to me, but I believe they moved the season up like a week earlier.
Yeah, this was the earliest start the CFL has ever had.
Yeah. Which I would prefer personally them starting later.
Yeah, I suppose the fans will complain that it's too cold, right? we need perfect weather.
Yeah, no, but I think football, though, the more you get into like the fall and stuff, I think it's better. Personally, I think it's better. Yeah. Like a game in 102 degrees is worse than a game in 2 degrees, in my opinion.
100% agree.
So maybe they can correct that next year. But Hamilton still wins. And then you know what was great was I was on VSiN Thursday night, giving out all these plays, by the way. But between breaks, it was hilarious because the host tells me, he goes, I know you're, because I was talking college football the first segment. Second segment was CFL, and he goes, look, I know you're a CFL guy, but my CFL sharp says, he texted me saying we should load up on the Edmonton Eskimos against BC. And I said, no, I think that's
sharp.
I don't know. I didn't ask, but I just said, really? I go, is there any logic on this? And he goes, well, the line also has moved a full point, right? Which it had at that time, apparently. Like I even checked it with DK, I think. And then he's like, yeah, so I think you should do that. And I go, I just can't do that. I can't do that. Edmonton just won their first game. And BC is, I think, decent, especially when Rourke is healthy. And well, glad to see that his sharp was not so sharp. And old Pick Dundee wins another duel in the West as BC wins 32-14. And I did catch this game, and I thought Nathan Rourke looked awesome, with the exception of that interception. 26 of 30. Yeah, I repeat, 26 of 30 for 345. He almost threw a perfect fucking game. This isn't baseball. I mean, it's baseball. They're playing this shit in the middle of baseball season. So I mean, look, this is almost a perfect game. And how about your boy, James Butler? Good Lord. That was I was tracking. I did win money in DFS. At one point, I thought I had a chance of finishing in the top 5 to 10 before James Butler went off, and I did not have him. And a bunch of other people had James Butler as he took a doo-doo on my fantasy team. But BC looked really good, man. Your thoughts?
They did, and I mean, it is against Edmonton, right? And BC and Nathan Rourke have dominated Edmonton, especially lately here. So you got to kind of take that for what it's worth. I really want to see how BC does against these better teams, because it seems like they're really good at beating up the bad teams, but can they keep it going when it's against the good teams? I mean, I think they've won 3 games now. 2 of them are against Edmonton.
And it's confusing because they've had injuries. Masoli started 3 games?
2 at least, might have been 3, but yeah. And Nathan Rourke, they have to have him be healthy.
Does it say in Rourke's contract he can only play the Eskimos?
Right. But yeah, I mean, he obviously had a great game, and 11.5 average. So it's not like he was just throwing little passes here and there. And then Butler running for 171 yards. They looked good, and the defense looked good. Again, it's against Edmonton. We want to keep seeing it. This will be a big test for them this week when they play Saskatchewan. Can they keep that momentum going? It is at home for BC, so that's what I want to see out of BC. It's like, can you do this to a team like Saskatchewan? Now I know Saskatchewan is primed for going 0-7-1 against the spread here, but can BC keep it rolling? Can Nathan Rourke keep looking that good against teams not named Edmonton?
That's a good point. And one thing I will highlight is I finally, we're 7 weeks in. I think we should note this for next year. I've been paying close attention to like the offensive defense statistics. I always like that, just the game itself within the game. And you really didn't have much of a difference over the first 6 weeks, I would say, maybe 5 weeks. But now you've seen like I'm talking like yards per game offensively. It seemed like 1 to 9 was a very close thing for the first 5-6 weeks. I think 5. Now you start to see it really emerge. BC is the number 1 offense in the league, 411 yards, and a little bit 411.3 per game. But at number 2 is the Calgary Stampeders at 410, and then there is, believe it or not, a 24-yard gap, and that gap, the Saskatchewan's got the 3rd best offense, but I mean, really, if you throw out Toronto and Edmonton, who's terrible offensively, all the other teams are kind of in striking distance. Ottawa, I guess, maybe pretty far back too, but the other ones are pretty nice. So you've actually seen now a big gap as far as teams pulling away, looking like the bet, like this BC and Calgary, and the fact BC's number one, knowing Masoli at least started 2 games, I think 3, is pretty impressive. Even though it has been against those shitty teams where I feel like they've been padding their stats, but BC also has the best defense, and they have the best defense on average, J Mark, by over 38 yards, where Montreal is number 2. So that is very, very impressive. If anything, Calgary, the 3rd worst defense, but I swear some of that has to do with game script, because I feel like they've been up a lot and has kind of been able to hit cruise control, right?
Yeah, absolutely. BC's an interesting team to me because if you look at like the points they've had, they're 8th. Points allowed, they're 4th. Net offense, they're 1st, but opponent net offense, they're 1st for allowing the least, right? Turnover ratio, they're last. Passing yards 1st. I mean, they just seem all over the board with these. We got to have some consistency soon, right?
I think it's starting to trend. I mean, the stats I'm saying from a bird's eye view. Now, I will say this. There is an art to this. Calgary is 3rd worst in defensive yards. They're giving up almost 379 yards per game. But to my point of like game script, they are the number 1 defense in the league as far as giving, they allow teams to only score 18.2 points per game. So
yeah,
it's really tricky. The more you dive into it, the more you're kind of like, this is, what do these stats really tell us in a way? Because game script, you should always pay attention to stats. I do think they tell a story, but I also think, each game presents its own story, and like Calgary more than the other teams, I feel like, just because I've paid great detail to them because of my future.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like they've been up early in so many of these games that you almost have to throw all the stats out defensively because of how much they get up early, and then they kind of just chill out,
Yeah. No, I absolutely agree. I'll tell you what, while we're just talking about Calgary, I'll tell you what I think makes them one of the better teams or best team. You can make the argument for. That's the fact that they're 1st in the least amount of penalties. They are a very disciplined team. And some people might think that does not matter. That does matter in football.
Oh, yeah.
Being disciplined is huge. And not having those stupid penalties bite you in the ass when you have a big play, or bite you in the ass when it's 2nd and 9 and you have a stupid penalty that then gives somebody a 1st down. I mean, that's huge. And the Calgary is killing everybody in that stat.
Yeah. I mean, here's another one that I think is well worth it. The number 1 rushing team in the league is the Calgary Stampeders with 131 yards per game. That is 13 yards better than anybody in the league. And second place is Winnipeg. This is ironic. Second is Winnipeg. 3rd is Saskatchewan. 4th is BC. Is there, like, if you power rank your top 4 teams, are those the top 4 teams? Because I think you can make a case. Maybe you throw Montreal in there, but the quarterback situation, who knows, right?
Yeah.
Or do you put Hamilton in there? Because they didn't look great.
Right.
What would you power like? Because in a way, you can make a case. Those that the 4 best rushing teams are the 4 best teams in the league right now.
Yeah. No, I absolutely agree. I mean, it's got to at least be Calgary and Winnipeg. I think those have to be in the top 2. Saskatchewan, it's hard to drop them out of it when they've only lost the 1 game, right? So for the first 3, absolutely. I think you have to have that be your 1, 2, 3 in power rankings. So I do think that correlates with the rushing. Then you can get into arguments. Is it BC? Is it Hamilton? Is it Montreal? Because Davis Alexander is supposed to be back this week. You can get into that argument around number 4, but 1, 2, and 3, I absolutely agree with you.
Dude, Toronto's average is 46 yards per game on the ground. I mean, has there been a bigger 180? Last year they were a really good rushing team. It's unbelievable how bad they were at running the ball this season as opposed to I blame it all on McMahon or whatever the fuck his name is.
McMahon.
I think ever since he said that, they haven't been able to run the ball.
Yeah, and I mean, I know it wasn't just Kadeem Carey. He wasn't the only reason they were running the ball well. Their offensive line was blocking very well, but it makes you scratch your head of like, why did you not keep a guy like that? He couldn't have cost that much, could he? I mean, come on.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe they got like an insurance policy on Chad Kelly that was a little marked up. Folks, we're going to talk about the upcoming week where obviously it's a lot better. We get 4 games as opposed to 3. Yeah. But before we do that, I want to let you know you are listening to the CFL Gambling Podcast, part of the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. Get all the SGPN picks and props for free with the SGPN app. Get it wherever you get your apps. Just type in SGPN and boom. And remember, as always, to let it ride, people. We're also brought to you by Circa Millions and Circa Survivor. Think you know ball? Then you have to enter Circa's football contest with $21 million in guaranteed prizes. There is no rake, so if the entries go above the guarantee, all the extra money will go to the prize pool. Circa Millions, you pick 5 NFL teams against the spread each week, or go for the ultimate sweat in Circa Survivor. There's even the Circa Grandissimo for $100,000 Survivor contest. You must register in person at the Circa Sportsbook in Nevada, Las Vegas, where I am currently recording from. It's a great excuse to book a trip to Vegas, folks. I mean, you got Stadium Swim, you got the biggest sports book in the world. You never know who the hell you're going to run into. All right. Like that's the best part. Whether, I feel like I always run into somebody you're not expecting when you're at Circa Sportsbook. Could be goddamn Brian Bosworth. You might not know. All right. Sign up in Nevada, play from anywhere with the help of SGPN's official proxy. Go to footballcontest.com, use the promo code SGP to get $50 off your proxy fees. We're also brought to you by MyBookie.ag. MyBookie is your place to bet on every single sport, including the wonderful Canadian Football League and the MLB and WNBA, golf, racing, tennis, all this stuff that are summer sports. And of course, college football and NFL futures. MyBookie accepts customers from a ton of different locations as well. You can easily deposit, get lightning fast payouts using crypto. Head on over to mybookie.ag, and when you do, use the promo code TCESGPN for 100% deposit match up to $1,000. Terms and conditions apply. Of course, that's mybookie.ag. Promo code TCESGPN. All right, we are back, and let's get to these games because tomorrow night we got a big one. When I say big, I'm talking about I think this is the biggest spread in the CFL thus far this season. Am I wrong? I think this has got to be the biggest spread I've seen this year. The Toronto Argonauts are heading to Montreal, Quebec to take on the Montreal Alouettes, who beat them by 18 back on June 6th. Whew. Well, look, Montreal didn't play last week. Toronto didn't play last week. No real advantage to either team. 10 points is a lot. So of course I'll take it reluctantly. I just rattled off how pussy Toronto is, but 10 points in the CFL is like 1,000 in real life. So give me the 10 in a rivalry game. And I'll take the under 50.5. J Mark, please tell me you're laying 10 points in the CFL.
I wish I could tell you, especially because it's against the Argos, but 10 points is ridiculous. You're right. That's the biggest one. I know Davis Alexander is back and he has looked very good. Montreal has looked very good when he's been their quarterback. And I assume there's no Chad Kelly yet, even though originally Dinwiddie said he was confident he would be back after the bye week.
I don't know. Montreal's got a lot of strip clubs. He's going to say, hey, go, coach, don't leave. Hold the flight.
There you go. Maybe he meant the next bye week. We'll see. But yeah, I can't take the 10 points with Montreal here. I got to take, it's just a lot, especially with how the clock, we've talked about it, how the clock works towards the end of the game there. It does favor a backdoor cover. Yeah, that can go both ways. Montreal could be up by 7 and use that same thing to end up kicking a field goal and getting a push here. I don't know, but I can't do it. So I'm going to take Toronto. However, on the total, I'm going to disagree with you there. Toronto's offense has been pretty bad. Their offense has moved the ball.
Wait a second. I took the under. What do you mean? The offense has been pretty bad.
Or their defense, sorry, has been pretty bad. The offense has moved the ball a little bit. So I'm going to go with the over here, over 50.5. I think both teams will put up some points. But yeah, I can't take the 10 with Montreal. I wish I could. I just can't do it.
Yeah, it's just an insane number for a rivalry game.
It is.
So you got to take the points. Next up, Friday, the game of the week. My Calgary Stampeders are making the trip to Princess Auto Stadium, wherever the fuck it's called. Something like that. Get a goddamn oil change while you're at it. All right. Calgary just whooped them. Not that. What was that? 2 weeks ago? Was it July 4th or something? Yeah. Calgary catching points. The disrespect. Winnipeg is laying 3.5 points, and the over/under's at 50.5. All right. I know what Winnipeg has. They have the best home crowd probably. So I'll fade my boys. I will lay the 3.5 with Winnipeg. Calgary has been red hot. Winnipeg's coming off the bye week. They just got embarrassed by them. Although I do think Calgary deserves to be power ranked number 1. I think Winnipeg gets revenge. There's too much pride with this program or whatever the fuck this team historically. Their fans are legit. There's a lot of veterans on this team. There's too much pride. So I will lay the 3.5. And I will also take the over 50.5. The game's on CBS Sports. J Mark, what are you doing here?
Yeah, I mean, I love the fact that you pointed out that they're coming off the bye week, and right before the bye, that's when they played Calgary and lost. So they've had 2 weeks to sit on that, to think about how can we correct this? How can we make sure this does not happen again? This is down to 3 on some books. I like it at 3 better than 3.5, of course, but give me Winnipeg. I agree with you. I think Calgary has been so red hot. I do think they're the top team to beat in this league right now. And they're 3 wins away from cashing that over 6.5 wins. They've been disrespected all season so far, but this is one of those games where it's just a situation thing at home in Winnipeg that I think Winnipeg gets it done. So yeah, give me Winnipeg. I like the over in this game too. I think both teams again are going to put up points. Last week I took all overs, didn't work out so well. I'm starting out with 2 overs. Hopefully it works out a little better this week.
Let's go. Then on Saturday, Saskatchewan, the Roughriders heading into BC Place. That bullshit. Take on these BC Lions, these red hot BC Lions. Oh boy. I mean, what the over under? I'm surprised that this one was the highest one yet. Are you surprised? Yeah. 52.5, but BC's laying 2.5. And I will lay it because I think you're right about this Saskatchewan team. Through 4 games, they look dynamite. Well, I can tell you this, as long as we know Nathan Rourke's playing, which I believe he is, I think BC's a more complete team than Saskatchewan. Saskatchewan, I still have some offensive woes that I see. Defense, I actually think is pretty good, but if they're on the field the whole game, that's not good. So I will take BC minus 2.5. Seems a little chalky, but I'll do it. And I will also take the under 52.5. This is too many points. What are you doing here?
I don't like that we're agreeing so much. That normally does not turn out well for us, but yeah, it's Corey Mace. The Corey Mace special is that he plans a hell of a good 4 first games and then it falls off. That's the pattern we've seen so far. It's hitting that pattern again so far this year. I'm not going to fade the pattern until I need to. So yeah, give me BC minus 2.5. And I also like the under. This point total doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I mean,
why is this the biggest one? I'm what?
Yeah, because I mean, BC's offense obviously very good, but Saskatchewan's defense has been fairly solid. Saskatchewan's offense is not known for putting up a ton of points. So,
and they're going up against the number 1 defense according to the stats.
Yeah. So yeah, the point total doesn't make a lot of sense to me. In fact, I think the under, I should have put it in my parlay, but I think that the under in this game is probably my favorite play this week.
Yeah, it's just kind of puzzling how they got that number, but
now they'll be 80 points in the game.
That's what I was about to say. Rourke those for 700. Then the Sunday nightcap. Oh boy, they're just baiting us. The Hamilton Ticats are heading to. That's not Hamilton, Ontario. That is Ottawa. Ontario. Take on these Redblacks. Well, I mean, what are we doing here? This one's at 54.5. Okay. Hamilton scores a lot, but Ottawa doesn't. Hamilton's laying 1.5. All right. Rod Villagomez, host of the NASCAR Gambling Podcast. I'll take a shot. Give me Ottawa to win this outright. Hamilton played with fire last week. Ottawa seems like they're due, even though they play bitch ball and don't tackle throughout the week. But give me the Ottawa Redblacks reluctantly. And what the hell is this total? I have to take the under here. What are you doing here, J Mark?
Yeah, absolutely agree on the under. As far as the sides, this was the hardest one for me to choose. I went back and forth, but at the end of the day, I went with the team that's better, and that's Hamilton. I know it's at Ottawa, but last year was the first time Ottawa actually showed the home field advantage even meant anything. I mean, they have been historically bad at home, so I'm not even going to factor that in. Hamilton's a better team. Kenny Lawler, best wide receiver in this league. He has been unbelievable.
Well, you saw Justin Hardy's catch though the other day. I don't know. It's not his fault they've had the quarterback problems. What were you saying? I'm sorry.
Fair. That's fair. Yeah, no, I mean, Kenny Lawler, he's been in my DFS lineups. You can't not have him. Even last week, I thought, man, now he's going to burn me, but he ends up getting a touchdown with a great catch. He made some excellent catches throughout that whole game. I just think Hamilton's too strong. I think that they were snoozing a little. They were overlooking Ottawa last week, saying, this team's not that strong, and it almost bit them in the ass. They did end up winning. They're not going to do that this week. They're going to be like, oh, we got to kind of take these guys serious so that doesn't happen again. So yeah, give me Hamilton.
Well, you know what? This is the game I feel like I don't want to be betting on Ottawa, but here I am stuck. I think the line's telling you to bet on Ottawa. This is definitely the game that I like least out of the four.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. All right, look, folks, I am in Vegas, so I did not have time to make a graphic for the huge tits parlay, but that doesn't mean that we can't give out the huge tits parlay. So for me, my huge tits parlay will be the BC Lions. Yeah, sorry, I won't do this. BC. It's honestly, I mean, we're just gonna go straight. BC, Winnipeg. You know what? I'm gonna go BC, Winnipeg. Just on, just obviously they're favored, but take those two. Then we're gonna take the under 52.5 in the BC Saskatchewan as the third play in the parlay, and the fourth part of the parlay will be Toronto +10. Close your eyes. All right. That is my huge tits parlay. I don't know the value. I've been at Mountain West Media Days all day, so I apologize. Next week we will create that, but put $50 in on that. What's that?
Are you taking BC Winnipeg money line or spread?
Spread.
Okay. I'll get it queued up here for you real quick. Got to see what we're winning, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be a decent chunk of cash. The Toronto one is just filthy, right? I mean, they run for 46 yards a game. That's disgusting. But
that's a nice 12-1 huge tits parlay. $50 will get you $651.
Woo! Woo! Jump in. What is your huge tits parlay, my friend?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's not as spicy. It's not as huge. You're bringing in the big tits. I got just the medium ones, I guess.
I'm in Vegas, right? The land of fake tits. So
that's right. I'm gonna go ahead and agree with you on BC -2.5. I'm gonna agree with you with Argos +10 in mine, but I also have Argos Alouettes over 50.5 points. I think there's gonna be a good amount of points in that game. And $50 on that one, not as profitable as yours. It's +5.5. About $50 will win you $327.17. However,
small potatoes.
Yeah. However, both of ours can hit. None of them are fighting each other like we have sometimes. So we could both win and cash two huge tits.
That's a lot of huge tits. All right, look, we're gonna get the DFS, which I have some breaking news. But before we do that, I do want to let you know that the CFL Gambling Podcast is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Yes, Underdog Best Ball Mania is happening all summer long, giving away $15 million in prizes, including $2 million in first place. There's no waiver wire, no arguments about trades. Best ball's the best way to play fantasy football, folks. So sign up over at Underdog Fantasy. And when you do, use our promo code TCESGPN to claim your special pick plus first time deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus credits. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code TCESGPN. We're also brought to you by Rhythm. You've probably heard me talk about Rhythm before. Well, they just dropped a new game-changing feature called Power Trends. Yes, these are AI-detected patterns where Rhythm's model has consistently won and has a very high ROI. So think like a strikeout prop that wins 59% of the time when the line and win probability hit a certain range. Power Trends are updated daily and exclusive to Rhythm and Rhythm only. No touts, no noise, just clean data-backed bets, baby. And the MLB Power Trends are 254 and 147 so far this season, a win rate of 63% and an ROI of 4.5% in their past 400 bets. WNBA is even better. ROI 21%, just about 35 and 20 since they launched. What are you doing? Jump on over there. Download the Rhythm app, check out Power Trends, and start betting smarter. You know we will be. Also, get your 7-day free trial period. SportsGamblingPodcast.com/rhythm. That's RITHMM. That's SportsGamblingPodcast.com/rhythm. All right, we are back, and we do our DFS portion. But I am stupid. And when you're stupid, you forget to do important things. I think this is I think it's in the Bible somewhere, page 739. Don't be stupid, because stupid things.
New or Old Testament?
That is that was one of the updates. He came down. He came down. It's like your iPhone updating. You didn't know it was happening overnight while you were sleeping. But don't be stupid, folks, because I was stupid. I won money last week, and at one point I was in the top 10, almost winning a bunch of money, but I still won money, and I was looking forward to toasting these other amateurs this week. And then I boarded my flight to Vegas and forgot that goddamn DraftKings DFS is not an option here, which is one of the stupidest things, by the way. I think there's another place, another page in the Bible talks about the top gambling place in the world not offering DFS, which is just the ultimate stupid play. I mean, come on. Because you're not offering this, it's not going to change how much money I wager downstairs. It's just absolutely terrible logic. So I don't have a DFS lineup, unfortunately, but that is why I have a co-host. Not only for his knowledge and wisdom and lawnmower skills, it's because I'm not reliable, and he is. All right, just like his lawnmower. J Mark, please give out your fire lineup, and I will critique it as you give it out.
I sure should hope I'm more reliable than my mower. I have to work on that thing like every other mow. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to start with quarterback. He's back. He's got running ability. When we saw him on the field, he was slinging the ball, and Toronto sucks. Give me Davis Alexander, 9,100. The interesting thing about Davis Alexander is, again, 9,100. He's one of the cheapest starters. Above him, you got Nathan Rourke at 10,700, Bo Levi Mitchell at 10,400, Claros 10,300, Chad Kelly 10,200, even though he's not playing. Vernon Adams is 10,000, then Trey Harris, Nick Arbuckle, Drew Brown, and then Davis Alexander, who is just $100 more than PJ Walker. That doesn't make sense to me. That makes zero sense to me.
I think I would probably be playing actually, but I kind of think Bo Levi Mitchell could have a better game. But yeah, for the price, it makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. And then I kept on the Montreal train for a little bit here. The Toronto Argonauts allowing the most rushing yards per game. So why not go with Sean Thomas Erlington, who's only 5,700. They like to give him the ball. I mean, he had 76 yards last week. He also had 2 catches for 22 yards and a touchdown. And he, again, one of the cheaper running backs. It feels like in DFS, Montreal's getting disrespected. What do you think of that play?
I do really like that play. Now I must ask you, since we're talking about this, but I think that play I like even more than Davis Alexander. What have they changed the price of my guy?
Dedrick Mills?
Yes.
9,100. So I think they bumped him up about 200, wasn't he? 89 last week.
Yes. And what about what's my guy's name? The wideout, Alfred.
Alfred.
So tell me he's still 2,800. Please tell me he's still 2,800. Because look, I understand Winnipeg's defense is good, but with all their injuries, I still think it's a value play. If he to me, anything under 4K is a value play for him because I think he's developing chemistry with Vernon Adams.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree. They bumped him up to a whopping 3,200.
I mean, come on, dude, you got to roster him. Please roster him.
Yeah, that's a good point. I am going to roster him. You tell me. Actually, I already know which. I had Jareth Stearns because I thought he did quite well 2 weeks ago with Caleros. He seemed to rely on him. But
he's good, man. I think he's got a good future in this league.
Yeah, but I like Damien Alford, so I'm going to throw him in for Stearns. I think you're right there. And that, I mean, I had to go with Kenny Lawler as well. He's just been on fire.
How many touchdowns does he have on the season, by the way?
What's that?
He's got to have a decent amount of touchdowns on the season, right?
Oh yeah, he's got 7 touchdowns so far.
Is that leading the league? I feel like it's got to be leading the league.
Yep, it is, and he's also leading the league in receiving yards. He's got 578. He's averaging over 100 a game. I mean, it's hard not to roster him, even though he is $11,000. He's more expensive than the quarterbacks.
All right. Maybe,
but you got to, right?
Yeah, I feel like you have to. But fuck, what does that put your rest of your team at? How much money do you have left then?
Well, actually, now that I added Alford, I have 3,000 left, even after picking the other players. So.
Oh, okay, so it's kind of some yin to the yang, right?
Yeah. I wanted to stack with Davis Alexander. I couldn't afford Philpott, though I might be close. Actually, I can't afford Philpott now, even though he's questionable, because you're giving me that value.
I told you. That's why you dial 1-800-PICK-DUNDEE.
So Tyson Philpott, he's questionable. If he plays, are you rostering him, or do you like the guy I had in there, Tyler Snead?
Well, with Philpott's uncertainty, I think I would go Snead, and a lot of times I do that just because I might forget to check. I had nothing fair. Worse than actually turning in a lineup with a guy questionable that you missed it and he got ruled out. So I would go Snead.
And Snead's 7,600, and he's been getting a bunch of targets. He just seems like a fairly reliable guy for them.
Well, he's East Carolina Pirate too, so you know where my heart's at.
Yeah. Of course. And that brings me to my last player because again, I had, Davis Alexander, Sean Thomas Arlington, Kenny Lawler, Damien Alford, Tyler Snead. And then it's kind of weird that I have so many players in the same game, but that's okay. I went with Kevin Maital, who's 6,200, and Nick Arbuckle loves throwing to this guy. I mean, 2 weeks ago, he had 8 catches, 104 yards and a touchdown. Before that, it was 4 for 60. Before that, 7 for 98 and a touchdown. I mean, this guy's a target and catch machine for them. It seems to be almost his offense a little bit more than DeMonte Coxey right now.
Ooh, check his heart. Vitals are good. Let's go. All right. What about defense?
Defense, I could afford anybody on the board, but fuck the Toronto Argonauts. I know we got them covering, but the Alouettes have forced the most turnovers in the league, and it's Nick Arbuckle. So give me the Alouettes for 4,200.
Yeah, you got to do it just in case they're 46 rushing yards per game. Fucking ridiculous.
That means 5 of my 7 players are in the Toronto and Montreal game. What could go wrong?
We might be a little crazy in that capacity. Diversify. Maybe you turn in 2 lineups. Folks, that's our show. Give J Mark a follow on Twitter at JMarkFootball. I'm on Twitter at TheColbyD. The CFL Gambling Podcast is on Twitter at CFL Gambling Pod. But please, once again, YouTube.com, CFL Gambling Podcast. Get on over there, hit that like and subscribe button. It helps us. The huge tits parlay. You know, I have a feeling it's going to cash because we didn't have the graphic this week.
There you go. You didn't have that fake chick you've been putting on there. I've been complaining to you in the DMs. Get her off of there.
Yeah, it's true. Well, someone just got to send me another one. You know what I mean?
I got one for you. I'll get
it. I mean, yeah, that's what I'm saying. CFL related or not, I like to think they're all CFL related personally. Folks, we'll be back. Enjoy the weekend. Can't wait to cash a huge tits parlay. Till next time, this is the CFL Gambling Podcast. You better start thinking about yours. And we out of here.
Run and shoot.